Hello everybody, I am Baltmatrix, and today we are taking a look at Transformers Earthspark Deluxe Class Megatron. I purchased the figure over at the Hasbro Pulse. This new mold of Megatron is quite good and has all of the classic Megatron features. It even has red in the belly, which I greatly appreciate, and some more red here up top. You will notice the Ghost Decepticon symbol there on his chest. The overall aesthetic of the figure is really nice, if a little bit on the dark side. I keep feeling like the way he shows up in the show is just a little bit brighter. And overall, I like the figure. The look of the figure anyway. The head sculpt is a lot nicer than what we've gotten, or I should say more jovial is what I'm trying to say, than what we've gotten in the past. And there's an M molded into his chin. Posability of the figure is pretty good. Head is on a ball joint, though it does have a tendency to just lock in place. It can look up a little bit and look down a little bit. Then the shoulders can move up and down, and then you've got a ball joint there in the shoulders, ball joint in the elbow, no fist articulation, but the little VTOL units that are attached to his outer forearm do move for the transformation. There is no torso articulation because of the transformation, and we'll get into that in a minute, and it'll make more sense. And then there is a ball joint in the hip, which is exceptionally tight on both sides. Thigh swivel, bend of the knee is over 90 degrees. Foot articulation is limited. There isn't much forward and back, and there is some side to side, but again, that's just because his legs are hollow for the transformation. The legs flip around and, well, the thighs go up in the legs, so it makes a bit of sense. The only accessory the figure comes with is his fusion cannon. Now, I'm a little bit weirded out by this because every picture I have seen of him online has his fusion cannon pointing like this. Even included in my icon, because that's an official picture from Hasbro. But the show has him pointing the fusion cannon like this, which I'm not sure which it is. I'm going with the show, so it's probably like that, thinner part pointing forward, as opposed to like this. I don't know. What do you think? Let me know down in the comments. In terms of scale, Megatron is roughly the same size as a current Studio Series Bumblebee movie figure. Here's Point Blank from the Legacy line. You can see that Point Blank is easily a whole head taller than Megatron, which I enjoy the robot mode. The only negative I have against the robot mode are these stupid panels that are hanging off the forearms. They just get in the way of everything you try to do. And there's no torso articulation, which stinks, but I kind of get why. You can get a little bit more posability with the legs if you move the butt flap up, but then you run the risk of untransforming the figure because there's a little peg here that pegs into the flight stand capable peg in his arse, but it's also holding the robot mode together. Now, there is a bit of force required in order to do the transformation, and I haven't seen anything online that says he's going to fall apart if you lift up his butt flap. Let's get into the transformation. First, we're going to unpeg the gun from his forearm, which the first time I pegged this in required a ton of force, but ever since then, it's been fine. So, we're done there. Come to the butt flap, flip up the butt flap, grab the entire upper torso, and pull it away from the figure. This is why there's no torso articulation. And then come to the shoulders and flip up the shoulders and peg them into place to form the front of the flight mode, and then come to the sides, and there are these side skirts. They will fold up and they will peg into place inside these little tiny peg holes that are there. And then take the arms and flip the VTOLs around, turn the VTOLs so that they are pointing the correct direction, and then collapse the shoulder, bend the elbow, and bring the VTOL section in and peg it into place in the back. So on the other side, we can bend the elbow, collapse the outer shoulder, and then peg that whole section in. Then for the legs, come down to the feet, fold the toes up, turn the legs outwards, and then flip up the legs and peg them into place. And then we can take the butt flap, and the butt flap will fold down and snap into place, holding the entire alt mode together, except for the bottom. These bottom section panels don't like to stay together on my figure. And here we have the VTOL helicopter mode. But we're not quite done yet. What I mean by that is the cannon still needs to be, transformed. Just grab the sides and unpeg the cannons, halves from themselves. Now these cannon sections will peg into the back of the top of the VTOL modes to form the rear engine sections. Each side is holed such that they will peg in and lap or connect to the top of the VTOL engines, and we're done. I like the VTOL mode a lot. I really do like this mode. It sits well on any table. However, there is no flight stand peg for the alt mode, which is just odd. I'm surprised that they didn't bother to put that in there. But we have our own ways here of, fixing that. And this is where a good old clippy flight stand comes into play. Works perfectly fine, and you get a very nice VTOL jet, helicopter, whatever. It works. Unfortunately, you can't turn the engines to make it a true VTOL, and even if you could, the giant cannon chunks hanging off the back is just weird. I can't help but feel that there's a little bit of design, or with a little bit extra money thrown at this, it could be just a little bit better. But overall, the helicopter mode is actually just fine. I don't really have a problem with it. Yeah, it's not perfect, but it's still fun. Getting Megatron transformed back is very easy. The hardest part I find is actually disconnecting the cannon bits from the VTOL engines. And then once you do, everything pretty much just turns back very quickly and easily. I have to admit, this is a fun transformation. It's not perfect, and let's face it, you do get some robot kibble underneath there, but it's neat. It's well designed. It's overall just kind of cool, and I appreciate that. The only thing you have to be wary of is make sure to open up the shoulders first before you slide the chest down. Otherwise, you're gonna have a bad time. Overall, this Megatron figure is a ton of fun and really does the character justice. Yes, it does have a few minor quibbles, but overall, I like it a lot, and it's definitely worth picking up. As I said, I picked this up over at the Hasbro Pulse. I'll have a link down in the description for there and to the Big Bad Toy Store. So folks, let me know what you think of Megatron down in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. I have been Baltmatrix, and I will catch you all next time.